Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode of the xTool Squad livestream demos. Um, yes, Sunday evening already. The weekend actually goes by so fast. Um, Today we have a topic, as I announced beforehand. Um, on the 5th of May, it's gonna be Liberty Day or Liberation Day. That is both for Holland and for Denmark. I come from Holland, for those who don't know it, and I live currently in Denmark. And this day is a day that is both, in between quotes, celebrated in both countries. And I think I want to spend some attention to it, to pay some attention to it, because it's actually remarkable. Now I got to see it from live up close. Is that the same celebration, the same event, is celebrated or spent attention to in very different ways. So in Holland, it's called Bevrijdingsdag, so Liberation Day as well, and it is celebrated in a very different way. Like the 4th of May, you first have the remembrance of the deceased. And then the 5th of May is always a day with a lot of festivals and meals and speeches. And it's really a big celebration of the freedom that was gained back in the day. Whereas in Denmark, it's actually celebrated in a very modest way. It is definitely celebrated, but they make a light show, and people all put a candle in the window, because that was for them on the night of the 4th of May in 1945, when the BBC radio announced that the Germans had surrendered, and that the surrender was going to be in effect on the 5th of May. But people, they were not allowed to have any light in the house, because, you know, you could be in danger then. And that is where people started to put the lights on again. And I found that very symbolic, very beautiful. And the way they celebrate or remember that is very different than from Holland, even though it is about the same event. And today I also want to stand still with that. That is already a long time ago by now. I think it's about 80 years, 81. And still, this day, there is so much war going on. There's still so many people that have to live in fear. And yeah, I find that really awful, that even though the world has had so many examples of what it does to people, and still there's so much wars going on. So I feel very, very sorry for the people that are going through that, and I think it's good to stand still with that as well. So yeah, I want to make something for that today, because of course I'm going to be working as per usual with my xTool S1, and I came up with an idea to kind of combine the festivities from the two countries, and I want to make something for in the window, a little bit more in a celebrative style, but like in between. Let's say it like that. Yeah, so I came up with a design. I will go and show you guys that. Let me first find where I put it. Dum dum dum. Would you guys like to have some music up early today? see. Music, I said. Let's go. Do we want to have spring theme? We're gonna go with this one. Shouldn't be too loud. If it is, then please just let me know. Oh, you guys don't hear it yet, but there. I was grabbing the file that I pre-created. I did not prepare it as per usual. I don't like to give you guys a smooth, okay, this is how you do it, bum, 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 bum. Now we're gonna actually go with, I just have an idea. And that is, we're gonna see how far we get in this 1 or 1.5 hour-ish, depending on how we feel. So I put it in, there. No. There. I have found it and I'm gonna show you now. Let's go to the studio. I feel that this is still loud. No, it shouldn't. It might actually be. So, this should be a little bit better. I just don't want it to come through my speakers. So you guys don't hear it double. That would be sad. So what you see here is I made the peace dove, and I want to cut this out. This is just an image that I generated, and I want to use this as a cutout. I don't know yet how I'm gonna make the base. I have been semi-preparing a jar because I want to put it in a safe jar, the candle, but I might need to add the jar for the next time because there's stickers on there, because I like to reuse stuff, as we mentioned in the other days where we were talking about sustainability and reuse of products. I think that these are very nice examples of that. So we just have like a marmalade jar that can serve very well as a candle holder, because of course when you work with wood as a candle holder you don't want to have the candle with the naked flame on there. So just getting the stickers off. I don't have any sticker remover, I should have had that, but yeah, it's not off, so the stickers is gonna be part of the stream for today. Yes, let's go into xTool Studio and we're gonna go on Edit, and we first want to make a vector out of this because we want to cut this out nicely. So let's just say trace. I think that is gonna be just fine because the background of it is so light. Yeah, I see that it does make a double thing because it has a very thick line. So we're gonna have to, we have a little bit of work on it, but I'm gonna show you guys how to do that, because that is all part of the work. So let me see if we have everything nicely. Maybe we need to up it a little bit there. This is fine, that is fine. Now we need to think about if we want to go for the outer line or the inner line. I think for the outer line. I'm gonna go. Okay, so we say save. And now you will see when I drag it, So this one we turn off, so we don't accidentally have that. But now you can see we have two of these, where one is only the vector lines and this is actually the PNP. You can also see it in how fuzzy this gets, and this stays sharp. So what we're going to do is we're going to say edit compound, and we're just going to remove the insides of this. That is there. We have here an inside, we have here an inside. This is a little bit of work, but this way we don't have the double lines, because we don't want to make a double cut. Here and here and here. So it only needs to be the ones that have the double lines. It is almost like a little computer game. This is not gonna work that way anyway, because then that is a double shape. So this is gonna have to go unless I change that. We can work with this. Inside. Oh, this inside. So if you have a part that is cut out and then you have another part that's cut out, that is already then cut out, so it's then gonna fall out. Trust me, that took me a while to get through in my own head as well. So it is totally fine if you don't quite get it right away. So here we are removing this. We have stuff here. We still have the entire inside of this one. I think these can just be, that one can be removed. That doesn't matter so much anyway. This one is entirely here. Let's go nice and fast. We still have some, yep, there. We have the eye. Now we have a choice what we do with this. Either we can just take them out. That would be the lazy way. Then the question is, are we lazy today? Oh, we still have one here. Oops. It's very quiet still today. That means I can just work. Okay, now I say edit. I will show it a little bit slower. Up here in the top you have different buttons: edit, edit compound, release compound, offset and group, and then you click on edit. This is where you see those little ball shapes. So I saw that here we have a little bit of a clunky shape, so I'm just going to click on it and I'm going to change how the shape reacts. Actually make it a bit different, because I just didn't really like how it was showing. And that is the beauty: when you work with a vector, you can very easily change those things. Now everything should be a bit smoother there. Oh, there. And now we go down here. And there we also have one actually. So when you use the scissors, so you can simplify it or you can use scissors. So I click on the scissors and then I just click this away, go back to select, and then I can move this around. And if I then go like so, hey, I just made a new one. That's not what I wanted. When you press escape, it stops selecting that. Oh no. No, I think we should scissor this open. Then edit. That's having a bit of a fight there. That is because it wants to continue the shape until it is closed again. So for the sake of the shortness of the stream, I'm gonna go back here and I'm just gonna remove them regardless. So I'm pressing Ctrl Z until I'm done. And then I say edit compound and I just delete these. So that we have one here still as well. That's just for the sake to keep the stream, not just me fiddling with it. It's just always a lot of work cleaning up the files. So everything looks fine. I also have to pay attention that nothing is going to be too close together. So the reason being is I can show that on this one is at some point I made these beautiful flowers in here, and you can see how thin the wood became here. And my first cutout was so thin that actually with my rough hands, I instantly broke everything down. Hello, Greyborn, welcome. So, yeah, that way I learned actually that you have to really pay attention, that you make sure that everything has enough thickness so you can just gladly move these around a little bit to make sure that everything has a bit of space. So this is going to be the wood that remains, and you don't want that to become too thin, because then it just chars it away. You should see it like if the laser first goes here and it chars on both sides a bit away, of course, and then it chars here again, so this becomes very thin. You don't want that, because that you just break so easily. I'm thinking, is this gonna be thick enough? We're gonna take a look if we, oh, that is not yet how we want it. Which of the shapes is open? No, not union. There. I just had to change the compound shape. Now I actually see that here's a really silly part. So we're just gonna say edit. I'm just gonna delete this one here. And I'm gonna grab this and make it straight. Double click it on both sides so it gives the smooth. Here you have the perfect symmetry, then it kind of makes all the smooth curves. And you see now it is gone. So now it looks nice and tidy. So what I'm trying to spot if there's going to be any pieces of wood that is going to be extremely thin, like this one here, pretty much the same as I had with my other flower. I just need to grab it and move it a little bit. There. And now it is not so thin, so it won't break all that easily. Here's a part that is definitely going to break in this shape. So we're going to go edit. Actually making this like so. Oh. Sometimes I click the side of it. Sometimes it's better to just have less curves. There. If you have less dots, you also have less troubles. Often. There. When it comes to working with vectors, I think honestly practice makes perfect. It's a bit of a learning curve that you will have, and at some point you start to understand it better. I'm not going to say that I'm super good at it yet, but I definitely start to understand it better than that I did before. I always need to be careful because I'm always very easily tempted to keep going. These are also rather narrow. I'm just going to widen it up a little bit. Let's just remove that one so we don't have the weird curve. And we double click this one so it becomes the smooth setting. Here you see it goes here to the sharp corner. We don't want that. We want to have it on the perfect symmetry one. Here's also a weird There we go. I think now most of them are pretty okay. Double clicking this, I don't want it to be. Oh, why do I have a second one? This one doesn't want to work with me. I just try to make it look a little bit more streamlined. Not doing a great job at it. There. No. There we go. Yeah, I think this is already a lot better. So yeah, that is what you kind of will encounter when you make your own designs. You're gonna have to clean up because otherwise things are gonna get out of hand. There's oh, there's still an ugly shape here. I don't like it when it has ugly shapes. I know I'm probably way too picky, but that is how it is. Ugh. Bleh. There. Can I now? Okay, so now we have the top part. Yeah, the music is playing. Is it too silent? I can put it on louder a little bit. I don't want you guys to hear it over my speaker. Is that better? So now we see that this one is 24.5 centimeters by 28.6 centimeters. So that is a bit big, I think. How big would we want to have it? I mean, my candle is already 9 high-ish, little bit higher even, 9.5. So it's definitely gonna need to be higher than 9. So let's say that we do make it 20 high. Let's see how high is my wood. I have this very nice walnut plywood. Let me see. Hey, why are you stuck? Let me see how high it is. That one is 22 high, so that is the maximum height that we can go. And the width is approximately 30, actually a little less. So if we make it in this way, so in portrait, we have a bit more. So let me check, 21.5 in width. 21, oh, without the dot because it is in millimeters. Oh. There, that should be the correct size we're gonna have to go for. So then we will still have some space on the top side. Yeah. We will have some 5 centimeters, a little bit less left. So that is fine. So let's make this 21. So we make sure that we don't accidentally mismeasure and just fall off of the wood and have an ugly curve. Now we're gonna need to have something on the foot here because it needs to be in there. So I'm just gonna create here a slot. This one can now actually be the sharp corner, and this can be a sharp corner, and this one is gonna line up straight here. And you see it's now 3.19 and I want it to be 3 millimeters because I think that's the thickness of my wood. So I want it to stick exactly in there. Yeah, this is 3 millimeter. So we're gonna zoom out and we're gonna make that here as well. And we're gonna drag one here. So you see that one is already under there. So when I grab this and move it, you will see the red line that it is lining up with the other dot. So I'm gonna make this one a sharp corner as well, and you see then it is totally fine. So this one is slightly down still, so let's, there we go. Now this is 3mm. So I don't know how long is this. It will be a slide of 98.06. Okay. Done. So now you see we made the part that is going to go into a slide. So I think we're just going to start with that, because that is going to be my design in general, and then we're going to have to create a base for that after it. So we're going to put this in the machine. So let's go over to a different view, and I move myself to the machine. So here at the machine, we're gonna place this one in here. And we're gonna place one here. Well, don't have to be so close. We're gonna place one there, so we know. Oh, we can actually place it all the way on the top here. So this way my wood is not gonna move. So now we move the module above it in any random position. Let me adjust the camera a bit, because I still have it a bit of a silly angle. Sorry for that. Hello Straw, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a lovely evening. Okay, so now we're first gonna measure how deep it is, so we can let the machine decide what the focus point is. So we just do that by clicking on the button. That's all. You see that it will just touch it with the needle, and it will reset it now itself on the little part in the corner. Now it knows the measurement. Now we're gonna set a rectangular processing area. So we're gonna do that by marking the top left of this plate and the bottom right. So the top left is here, and the bottom right is down there. And that should be it. Now we see it runs all the way off of the screen. So I don't know, it is really exact on it. But that's fine, because we're gonna line it up with the top side. So we're gonna remove this pigeon, I wanted to say. Yes, I'm alright. I'm actually doing fine. Just kind of enjoying my weekend so far. Tomorrow the hard work life starts again, so enjoying my time that I can spend on some crafting. Okay, so we line this up. And now important is we do not need to engrave it. So we can just say cut. And we're gonna have to set the material. And for that we're gonna go into wood and we had walnut, 3 millimeters, and we apply. Yes, I also wind people up. That is part of the fun of being me, okay? So now we have everything set. Here we can see this is how it is cutting through properly. So we're just gonna go with 100% power, and we're gonna go with 10% speed. That seems just to be fine. It's only 3 millimeters. Normally when I have 4 millimeter wood, I go for like speed 7 because that is a bit better. Yeah, let's just give this a start, and then we're gonna think about how we're gonna do the rest, because I just haven't thought of it. I had a plan or an idea, and that is where we are at. So I'm double checking that the holders are on an okay spot, and that seems to be fine. So I click on process, and this will take us blah 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 blah. This will take us 13 minutes and 4 seconds. So let's press start. Here we get a warning. High power and low speed have been set for this processing task. 1. Ensure that the base plate is clean without any wood or other combustible residues. I just cleaned it, so I definitely can check that off. 2. Pay attention to the material processing status inside the machine, which we will do. We're gonna not go away, we're not gonna go toilet, we're gonna stay right here and keep an eye on the machine, because it is, of course, it's a flammable material, and you always, when you are gonna heat it up with a laser, you're gonna want to stay close to it. So we say OK and process, and then we're gonna go to the machine again and press the button. And there you can see how fast it actually goes. It's really amazing to see. I hope you can see it well. I can zoom in a little bit if you want. So now let's go and think about what we want to do with the rest. Minimize on the top left. How do you know how much speed and power you should use? It's by feel and experience, or can you look it up somewhere? That's a great question, thank you. So when you click on your file and you have the right material set, then often there is a reference to it. Here you can click on it, and then you can see what other people did. It's also possible to make your own test grid. So you can test, how does my machine react to different types of materials, because there's a lot of influence in how warm or how humid your room is, or your machine itself. It just might have its own settings. So that is always different, and those you can make in applications, and then you have material test array. It's under the efficiency tools. So that is very easy to use. I can make another stream on that, so we can use different materials, so I can showcase that a bit. But for now, when you go into this and you set it for engrave, here you see it has also a preset loaded for engravings, and here you can see someone that made this. If it goes with 100% and 100 speed, it will practically char down entirely, and you see there is a lot of burn on the outsides. You see that the wood reacts also differently on each spot based upon the power and the speed. So that is how you can kind of look how it goes, and of course there is an approximate that you get used to when working with different materials, that you know where you approximately need to be. But the library here is a super handy tool, and there's actually for really many things information. So it's actually fairly easy to use that way. Now, talking about applications, there's a lot of new stuff we saw the last time in the generator. So let's see if we have anything that we could use to create the base for this lovely little bird. So we could just go with a box, place it in there, or we can just, what shall we do? There's a lot of new funny things. Let's see what is in the boxes. So here we see we have a lot of different types of boxes. Exactly, yes. That way you can just stay safe with the settings that are already made, and of course it is always advisable to just do your own test grid so you will have a flawless result, because every material acts different. For example, I have different types of glass, and the one glass reacts totally different than the other one because some of it is hardened glass, some of it is very porous glass, and that also goes between bamboo and this wood here. Reacts totally different, and then even between different bamboo styles or products, it really differs. So testing yourself is always the best, but it's indeed keeping you safe from having a complete fail. Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna find it in the box. Although we might just steal one of these plates out of convenience. The tab material thickness is 3, so that decides how thick these are. So we could optionally say, okay, we're just gonna grab one of them. I actually want to have a text on the front, so maybe we do need to have an upstanding box. And then something like this one, if we have that circle the right size. Now that will actually go too deep, right? But if we go with this, we can kind of use it. And then we can make one side maybe higher. If we make this really low, so the height is I'm overthinking this because I don't want the candle to go too deep inside of it, because then the light effect will be totally gone, of course. Let's take away the side patterns. Yeah. How big is my jar? I'm measuring it. My jar is 72, so we can get away with 73, 74. 74 on this height because it goes slightly inwards. So it needs to have at least 74 plus 1 on each side. So 8 is not going to cut it. 84. That's the radius. What if I say 4 sides? Then we just got like such a box. It's also actually fine. That's gonna make it a little bit easier. But how long was the slot already? Okay, so this one is definitely gonna be just... If we make it 104, because it was 92, what was it? 90. This I'm gonna change anyways, so that is fine. But I need to make a slot in here where then the dove is coming in. We can remove the design block, we don't want that either. So we just want to have a simple box that is not so high. And the height was only gonna be a bit like candle holder high, just so that it doesn't slide away. That is why I want to make that. I mean, we can also just make like a little plank and not do all that. Let's go with 220. So that's going to be fairly low. I also see that we're then going to get something silly here. Why is it making that so silly? Three centimeters? Well, because it wants to hook into one another there. But I think that's already going to be quite high, 3 centimeters. I'm going to have to make the tab width just smaller. That is the issue. 1, and then the height can be 20. Okay. Fine, 25 compromises. I need to compromise a lot. I think this is nice. Then we can make this one smaller, and we can make the slot in there. We're gonna make 2 slots. Yeah. Okay, import to canvas. We're gonna go do this. So everything still looks fine this way. And I don't want to change any of that. So I'm gonna say explode. So that means that you can't adjust it anymore. And we're gonna go with ungroup. And I'm gonna select this, release compound. And then I can select this one and make it smaller. I said 74. I remember. And we're gonna line it up in the middle. There. So this is then where it is going to be. It's actually quite let's put it over away. I can choose to not line it up. Yeah, I'm gonna put this one in the back. Let's just say back. Can I line it up with anything? There, this is where it's gonna be. And this one had which side? .06 done. So we're gonna make a rectangle. and we're gonna unlock the aspect ratio and 98.06, and this is gonna be 3 because that's how much it's gonna be. I think is 3 gonna be enough? I think 2.9 is gonna be better because it's, or 2.8. 2.8. The reason why I'm thinking is because it charged away on both sides. So if it does that 3 millimeter from one another, it's still gonna be a little bit wider on each side. That is the curve. So one is gonna be here. And then I want to make another rectangle. Or should I take a different shape? Do we have nice shapes? Elements. I want an element where I can write something on. Parametric components. Interesting. I think we're gonna have to take a look in the frames. Something that is pretty. Something that fits the design. That is what I need. Because I had a beautiful text that I want to use. This is all not really what I was after. Let's use AI Make. Maybe we can make something fitting to ourselves. How can you create me a vector of a frame of a circular frame that that is held with 2 hands upwards. In the palms of 2 hands. Let's see if we can make it work. Meanwhile, let's go to the machine and see how it came out. So I'm not gonna instantly move it. I'm first gonna hold it in place and move small parts. Because I'm not sure if it didn't come through fully. See? So now we know that it doesn't come through with 10 speed. It's actually too fast already. This is nearly what I wanted, not entirely. So I'm gonna have to remove this. Okay, now it is back in place. Gonna have to do this again. And now we're gonna go with 6 speed. That's gonna take a little bit longer, 20 minutes. And we're gonna start it. And now it's just gonna do the whole thing again. So I thought it was gonna be fine because it was 3mm, but well, my walnut wood is just a little bit stronger than the one that they used. So there you see, it just didn't cut fully through. So I'm gonna need to redo it. Now we wanted to make the base. Now we were rather fast, but let me first see. Make it more abstract and elegant. The circle has no decorations in it. Now let's see what that is gonna give. And now we see some good results there. You see that some parts are just falling through, and that is exactly the right thing to happen. Then we can see that it actually cuts properly through right now. Yeah, this is already a lot better. I just wanted to interact. Please make the hands interact directly with the circle. Or rather said, be connected directly to it. Because I otherwise I'm gonna need to do that myself again, and I don't really want to play around with the vector now. I'm hoping that we get this one done fast, so we can move on to the wooden plates. If you're wondering, maybe we can do something else meanwhile. Let's say again, box. This one, the radius we were gonna go. I actually want to make it a square. I think we can also make it with this. So let's take the patterns out. It's a very funny sound here. Click, 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 click when they are falling out. So yeah, this is a tissue box. So let's say that we want to have this one 120. And the depth is a 90. And then okay, the whole width is gonna be 74. And this is also 74. There we go. Material thickness is 3, so that is fine. And these we're gonna just straighten out so they don't come through, because we don't need them to come through like here. Or I can even do it one better. And so the depth is 90. So let's say that the depth is 120. No, this is 140 and this is 120. So then we're gonna place this one more to the back. This one I'm gonna change in shape. So that is one of these I'm gonna change in shape. So that will actually take over the where for what the hands are, where I'm gonna combine that. Then this one we're gonna place a little bit further to the back, and then yeah, I think that is what I want to do. So yeah, we are done. We can, let's play around with it first. Edit. I want to explode it. Thank you. And I want to ungroup it. This one is gonna go away. And then this one, edit compounds, we move this one further to the back. Done. Then edit compounds, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. We're gonna go and put that one here together with the other ones, because that's gonna be the slot for my, now I forgot what it was, 98.06. I'm gonna put that right here. It doesn't, it can be a little bit further away from the candle. That doesn't matter too much. So now when I choose this one and I'm gonna edit it, why do I have a double one? Delete. And we can make this in a circular shape. Oh. Okay, well this is now at least the same. It's just not the... I think it's fine for now. Let's see if the AI make is ready. I do not want to do that right now. Okay, no, I didn't really do that how I imagined this. It's not really hands anymore. That's not how I wanted it. I mean, it can still work. I just need to not be so whiny. So what I had in mind is I can combine these. Okay, it needs to be a little bit bigger. Here to here. Something like such. So let's edit this. Now we're gonna do something fun. We're gonna follow the shape here. Shall we do it roughly? A rough shape? So this one can go here. And then one there. This one I do want to have on it, like so. This one doesn't need to be like that. Oh, I think I need to change this setting to angled symmetry. Oh no, sorry. This one, total asymmetry, because now I can bend only this one, so that is what I want. I need to double click these so they become a bit more pretty. And this goes up a little bit. Here we're gonna do the same. So we're gonna go all the way here. This one is gonna go like here. Meanwhile, keeping an eye on my dove. Where do we line it up? There. So it's very useful to work with those helplines. And for this one, we're also going to go with total asymmetry. So we may bend this one how we want it. Okay. Now, seeing that this is nice, I'm going to make it nice. Almost. I'm not 100% happy with this. There, that looks a little bit more natural. So now we incorporated this design into this part. Now it is not going to be able to stick through that fully. Did I think of that? Need to zoom out a little bit. Because that's gonna need to be wider if we want to make this come through. Or we need to change this part where this one doesn't slide through. Also, we need to edit this one. To be fully straight, and this one has to be a straight one. And this has to be a straight one. So this one is now not cutting through anymore. But I think we're gonna need to make this top side oh, Control C. I want to have both of them. This can be grouped. I do it like so. Because I need to know how wide the slot is gonna need to be. So, how would you solve that? Would you take the entire front away? That's the idea I'm playing with now. And just make it not come through, but just cut that part out. Or shall we make the top side a little bit more going to the front, make it wider so it actually comes through? But I'm gonna have text on here, so then you will have a line going through the text. So maybe it's best to just take that part away. because then it needs to go, because it needs to rest in here. You know what we do? We're gonna wait till my dove is done, and tomorrow I have another stream. We're gonna do the explore stream, where we're gonna explore what events are going on in the next week worldwide. So tomorrow I'm gonna work further on this. I'm gonna give it a good thought, because I wanted to make just a simple box, but I'm gonna make it with 2 layers. So here's the candle. Let me move this a bit. Here's the candle. Here is gonna be the dove, and then here is gonna be the hands, like slightly in front of the dove, but only for this part. So only the text part is gonna be in front. So I'm gonna wait for a second till that one is extracted, and then I'm gonna show you with my hands how to do that, or how it would go in front. But I'm not sure about the front of the box, how I want to have that. So I'm gonna have to think about that, and I will do that then tomorrow. And then we pick one other part that we're just gonna make something small, like a key hanger or anything of the funniest event or day that we can find what is in next week's days, because there's a lot of funny ones. So let's grab that. Hello, young lady. I have a little doggy here. Can I please? She's just refusing to move. There we go. So let's take the holders off, because I can clearly see that it came through this time. We can just carefully take this out. There's one piece that doesn't want to pop out by itself. Come on. There we go. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm so far zoomed in, but that's alright. I have a different camera that I can show it. Let me fix that. There. Now I'm gonna show you guys how pretty that became, because it became actually quite pretty. Nothing went really too thin. Well, maybe one part that I just don't want to touch. So if I want to go all out with that design, you have seen that box, right, that I made here with this. And I could just make epoxy in it, so I can make it like a little window. Then I can also give it a beautiful color or something. Let me see if I can. There it is. That's quite pretty, right? So it's so big, I have to zoom all the way out. So yeah, this is how it turned out. So you always have one side that still has a little bit of scorching, and this side is the clean side. So this is the side we want to have on the front. So, and then you can just imagine that we have a previous concept here that we made. It's a little bit of a similar box, but then this is going to be like on the top, and in the box the front part is going to stick out here like this high with the text. Thank you, guys. So that is the idea. Well, it's gonna be a little bit like this supersized box that I made for my, well, Easter eggs. It's not for Easter eggs anymore, but hey. And then this one is gonna fit right inside of there once it is cleaned. So we don't have any candles close to the wood. That is something that I actually really am very clear about to everyone that wants to have such a thing. Never put just a candle in there. Always make sure that you have a good fire resistant container in there. You actually agree, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the follow and welcome to the to the gang. So yeah, I think we're gonna design this further tomorrow. Well, because yeah, next week the 5th is gonna be the Liberation Day. So I think we can still keep on going on this topic. And if you guys have any advice for me, you know, I don't know everything. I wish I did, but I don't. What would you do in this case? Would you make that it goes through? I'm doing fine, Rocker. Thank you. And you're so welcome to be with us. Thank you. Yeah, you guys definitely are an old couple arguing. So yeah, I'm a little bit in a dubio in how I want to have this design pan out. I think this is gonna be nice. I have the text for it. I will reveal that tomorrow. If you have a beautiful text that you would like to have on there for the remembrance of this day, let me know. Then I will gladly take it into consideration and apply it while on the stream. Other than that, I'm so sorry that we're already at the end of the stream, right after you followed. So I hope maybe you have some time tomorrow as well, and feel free to drop in. Yeah, for next week it's gonna be tomorrow, and then it's gonna be on Friday again, and Friday is gonna be again a Dutch stream for the people in Holland. Directly. In case you think that it's too little streams, then just shout out and we can see what we can still do. So with that said, thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Good night.